All right, welcome to another episode of CAS Minute, where today we're going to talk about how to educate your team around developing an advisory mindset, learning and development, training, upskilling your team. So, the way that we think about advisory is that it's not just a service that clients can opt into, but rather it's a mindset. You either are an advisor or you are not. And so, what we want to do is try to instill this mindset, this advisory delivery, this service, this value added consultative lens on what we do throughout the spectrum of services that we have in accounting, in finance, in our trade to help our clients improve their outcomes. There are three ways that I think can be really beneficial to helping instill this advisory mindset. And the first one I would talk about is building an education platform in order to help your team better understand how to deliver services. When you think about creating SOPs, building training documents, and articulating how you do what you do, it's really important that you document that. So if you're the only practitioner in your firm that is delivering advisory today, you should start to create a little bit more granularity and more depth of a knowledge bank of what you're doing each month for your clients. Whether that's analyzing financial statements, it's key points for industry-specific consulting items. What we want to do is just create a rhythm of documenting these items so that you now have a library in order to educate new team members when they come on board. There are two tools that you can utilize to do this that I've seen in market that are really great. One of them is called Scribe and the other is called Whale, scribehow.com and use whale.io. So those two tools will help you create these standard operating procedures, these training documents, help your team answer questions. So not only will it help from an onboarding standpoint, but also will help your team get a better perspective on what you do and what you're delivering to your clients. So take a look at those. I'll link to them in the show notes. The second way that I think you can really start to develop this advisory mindset early is bring your team into client-facing conversations earlier rather than later. The relationship with a client is often a sacred thing that may be reserved for a few individuals who know how to communicate well. But ultimately, if we're not bringing our team into these conversations early on in their journey in the CAS practice, their propensity to become better advisors later on decreases significantly. So I want team members from the transactional level onward to participate in those conversations, to listen to the types of questions that clients are asking, to listen to the types of questions that their team is asking of the clients. And so that helps to develop a better connection between what we're delivering at each level and what the client's perception of that is. It also helps us and help the team better explain and better educate our clients on how and why what we do is important for them. The last way that I think is really important to instill this advisory mindset is to bring them into the review process. Bring your team into the review process that you take on for your clients. Perhaps it's a matter of sitting down with them and saying, hey, here are the 10 points that I'm going to be looking for when I start to prepare a deliverable for a client. And so if you're able to document what you're doing there, that's one element of learning. And maybe that's for those that listen more in an audio or visual form of a standard SOP. There's the learning by observing a conversation with a client. And then there's the learning by walking alongside of those before you, more of that apprenticeship type approach. So if you bring somebody into the review process, not only will their work product likely become better over time, but also they start to create that connective bridge, that connective tissue to what the client's expectations are relative to what we're delivering them. So if we're able to create these rhythms and instill this mindset early on in the advisory journey from any new individual coming into a practice, that really enables you to open the aperture, open the spectrum of the type of services that you can provide, and then how you frame those to prospective clients. You then have the ability to say, hey, at the transactional level, here are 3 ways that we can help advise you on your business scalability, your growth, and then helping you reach your desired outcomes. I think it's tremendously important that we instill this as a mindset that advisory is not just a component of what we do, but rather it's baked into our ethos. It's one of those things that as technology evolves and improves, we position ourselves as that advisor, as that team that can come in and support clients in their growth beyond just transactional level items. So those are 3 ways that I think we can help instill an advisory mindset and a few tools that'll go alongside of that. Till next time.